we're back at it like a bad habit. If you want something, better go grab it. I ain't do that. I ain't do a little intro in a little minute, but I'm feeling good, man. So basically, today is part 2 of the Snowbunny Experience. Basically, on the last part, we stopped off at basically I was talking about the T page. Excuse me, I was talking about the T page and how I want to get closer to her through the T page, and basically the end of junior year. And I think I got into the summer. So basically, just in case, a little smaller recap about the summer, just in case. So during the summer, we ain't really talking much during the summer. I think she hit me up like once or twice during the summer, and that's when our relationship like fell off, like in terms of like friends, and things like that. Maybe it didn't even like fall off, but we didn't really talk, And I was focused on like during that summer, I was focused on other things, and she most likely was too. Like I can't even tell you what I was focused on. That's something I was probably just like hanging out with the boys and stuff like that, like just normal things. Then we come up to like the school year. And during the school year, this was senior year, during the school year. So basically, we had to do like these senior portraits, and we do them every year in front of the fountain. Well, we don't do them every year, but like every senior class do them every year in front of the fountain. You take your little group picture with the whole class, and I haven't like seen her in a minute. So then it was me, Jana, and it was Sage. And we was all with each other. So we was like all standing by each other, right? And we was just like taking we was all standing by each other. Like when they was taking the pictures, that's what we was. So then out of nowhere, we done taking the pictures. Then she comes up. For this series, we're gonna give her a name. We're gonna give her the name of L. Alright? That's her name. We can go with Stranger Things L. We can go with the letter L. Her name is L for the series. So L comes up from behind us, and then she chatted up with like us three, and things of that nature. Us three chatting it. We just going back and forth and things like that. So then she one of those people that loves like social media. So whenever she gets a chance, she gonna take pictures of herself. She gonna record herself. Like she gonna do all of that stuff, cause that's what L does, I guess. So then, we was talking, then, she want to take a little picture of herself, like, all right, so now we taking group pictures, and me and her, we got a little solo picture together, with just me and her, it's like things of that nature. So now, I think, what happened? So now, if I'm correct, we had to go back inside the building for something. Like, I don't even remember why we had to go back in there. But we had to go back in there. And Elle was like, come sit by me. Because it was like me, as I said, me, Jonna, Sage. There was like some other people tagging along. It was like, we should all go sit. We should all go sit with each other, things of that nature. I'm like, I guess. So now we are just sitting there, just listening to like the little presentation that Rank Dog gives, So now a little later on, me and L were talking, and now we just like, because this part I left out of the past video. From that whole T-page thing, she got my number. So she already had my number previously. So, but she never really text me on there or call me, like nothing like that. But it didn't really matter, because that's when I didn't use my number at all. I use like Snapchat to talk to people. Now, the only way you can get in touch with me is through like my number now, or Insta. So now, out of nowhere, she started hitting me up on my number. She started hitting my line. He was like, and now we talking. I'm like, and like that's the time where I wasn't doing nothing with my life. I wasn't doing nothing at all. So whenever she hit me up, I was there, you know, simp shit. So now, every time she needs to talk, I was there. Now, mind you, there's one time I hit up L. It was like, I want to say it was like 7, 8 something at night. That's when it could have been 9. It was sometime at night. And I hit her up because I was like, because like me, whenever I like want to talk to somebody, but like this why I don't call people. Whenever I want to talk to somebody, I get like scared to talk to them because it's like that anxiety inside of me to where what if they don't pick it, what if they don't pick it. I got better with it. I call people more. I got better with it, but like that's when it was like bad to where if I called somebody, I was scared if they was gonna pick up or not. So I called her, and she picked up, but it took me a little minute because I was pacing around my room for like 5-10 minutes waiting. Like, should I call her? Should I call her? Should I call her? And I called her. And then L picks up, you know. She was like, what is it and stuff, you know. And, you know, I was like, you know, well, I was just trying to talk. Mind you, she was with her little brother, so, you know, she was doing, you know, a little thing with her little brother and thing. She was like, we can talk tomorrow or whatever, you know. I was like, I bet. Then, me being me, I hit her up the next morning. I'm like, you know, I text her. Now, I see her, like, basically every morning because what happens is, whenever I get to school, me and John will go sit in her car. So I would like see her like basically every morning type shit. So I see her, you know, everything seemed normal and things like that. But then I realized there was a little distance. So what I realized, I would text her and then she would take hours to respond. And that made me think like, I guess she ain't really feeling me. So then when I peeped out, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, and I just like left that situation alone a little bit, you know. It's like I liked her, but at the same time I didn't. I was like, why is she taking so long to respond? So now, this is when I realized there was a reason behind this. There was another guy she liked. So now I'm in a little predicament to where not only does she like me, she likes this other guy as well. So, but she liked the other guy more, so she was giving more attention towards that guy. But that guy didn't really like her, you know what I mean? Now I remember one day I'll never forget. She was complaining to me about this guy because it was me and Jonna. Like most of this, like me and Jonna was hand in hand. Like Jonna was always with me. So basically, one day she was complaining about the guy to us, and then she was like, he always takes so long to respond and things like that. And I was like, man, I was like, Mo, and like in my mind, like I ain't said this out. In my mind, I was like, motherfucker, what? You do the same thing. Like what are you complaining about, motherfucker? Like what? And then she was complaining about that. And then of course I was like, well, you know, maybe he's busy and things like that, you know. I was trying to play, you know, I was trying to make it seem as if I was supportive. But really I was trying to get in the pants, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what happened. So all that goes down. And now one day, now I remember it was one day, homecoming coming up. I think it was around October. The homecoming dance coming up. And I have a date on it, and I was like, well, you know, she don't got a date, you know. So now I'm in my room, I'm laying down, I'm like, what should I do? You know, I'm just sitting back like, what should I do, bro? Because I remember I was telling my boys that if I don't got a date to the dance, I don't want to go. And I was like, what should I do? So now I'm sitting back, I'm like, okay. And it dawned on me, I say, I can ask out L. So what did I do? I hesitated hella, like, it took me like a week or two, cause like when I thought of it, it was like a week or two before I actually like went through with it. And then even then, when I went through with it, again I was pacing around my room, hovering over the call button. I was just hovering over it, like, should I call? Should I call? Should I call? Should I call? And I was terrified because I was like, what would happen? So you know what I did? I texted her first, and then I called afterwards. And then I was like, you know, And then in like the nicest white girl voice possible, she was like, just let me know, cause I was hesitating. I was on the phone like, will you will you go that's how I was on the phone. But now I'm over there hesitating like a motherfucker. But now she was like nice about it, and so she was like, come on, just tell me like what is it and things. I was like, will you go to the dance with me? She was like, yeah. I was like, whew. Riz, in my mind I was like, Riz question mark. And I said, now that I look back on it, that was not Riz. That was not Riz. I was nigga, I was bumming, nigga. What? So now I got a date to the dance, and I'm telling all my boys about it. And surprisingly, everybody was happy about it. Now Concurrence never liked her from the get-go. He didn't like her from the get-go. So when I told him that, for him to still be happy for me, that made me realize that he really a top tier nigga. Because the fact that he didn't like her from the get go, before I even like try to date anything, so the fact he even liked her then, when I told him that, hey, this is gonna go to dance with, the fact he was like, oh, that's cool. That was a real nigga, bro. Like for real. So now I'm sitting back. And I'm just planning this. I'm planning this out, right? And we got this whole date and things planned out. Now we're at the mall, me and Jonna, cause Jonna going to the dance as well, right? So Jonna looking for a suit to put on. And you know what I'm doing? I'm looking for a suit to put on as well, and I gotta find something to match her. So then it takes me a minute, and this is why I hate shopping. I was in there all day looking for something to wear, bro. I was in there all day. And it's because this motherfucker wanted to choose the most complicated colors. Like, the colors she wanted, they was not what we needed, bro. Like, they wasn't even in season at the time. I was like, fuck. So, and I went to the mall like 2-3 times for the homecoming dance. I hated it. I went one with Jonna, and I went another time. No, I went 2 different times with my brother, with my older brother and his friend. So I'm in there just bored, and out of nowhere, she calls. She hit my line, and I didn't pick up because my phone is on silence basically all day. It's never really off do not disturb. So when she called me, I don't really notice it. I don't really pick up. So then she calls Jonna. So John and L on the phone. And, they just talking, and then L was like, I'm finna come to the mall. So, L on her way to the mall. So now we at the mall, we're over there hanging out and stuff. And then then Jonna pulls L to the side. Cause John is a W best friend. W. So John knew how I felt about it, and John wanted to talk to her about it because John was, John is just a W person like that. So now John is talking to L about it, and now L confronts me. And it was like, look, you're a good guy, you're a nice guy, but I'm not looking for a relationship right now. And that hurt, man. I want to cry. No, I ain't want to cry, but, I was like, understand. I was like, all right, you ain't looking for a boyfriend. Understandable. So, but that's before I knew she had a crush on another nigga. So now, Jonna lets me know it was this other guy she had a crush on. But she made it clear, though, we was going to the dance as friends anyway. So she was my date, but she made it clear we was going as friends anyway. It was like friends with benefits type ordeal. So now, I'm sitting back and look, like I get home, first thing I do, I pop in J. Cole in my ears, I'm a little sad. So, now, the night of the dance I'm trying to make sure I ain't missing nothing else in between. So now the night of the dance comes, and she... first we go out to eat. Now, the first restaurant we couldn't get into. We had a little reservation or whatever, but we couldn't get into the first restaurant. It was packed. It was homecoming night for multiple schools. We couldn't get in there. So we had to dip to another restaurant, and that's where we ate at. Now, mind you, we over there at this restaurant. She's sitting right next to me. We're over there holding hands and, you know, things of that nature. We're over there holding hands and, you know, I'm feeling on top of the world. I was like, this is mine. Because I think, as I said in the first video, she was a little baddie. So I'm like, I got a baddie as a girl, you know what I mean? No, you just know the holding hands, you know, couple type things. And then, you know, she get a little tired. What she do? She leans on me, you know? You know what I mean? So now everything just feels so surreal. And then earlier in the day, which I skipped this, I know I was missing something. Earlier in the day, we was taking pictures and things like that. So now, what with us just having fun, joking around, we just having fun when we taking the pictures and stuff. And I was like, bro, this is what I want. I want this girl right here. Like, I'm not finna let nothing stop me from getting this girl. So then, later on in the day, after we done eating and stuff, first of all, I just want to say that I was dumb. At that time, I was done with money. So now this is something that I agree with. I asked her to the dance. So me paying for the meal, that was like obvious. I was gonna pay for her meal, but it was the fact the tip. I overpaid the tip, bro. And that's because I went to seem like I was a baller, you know, I was a big baller, you know. And you know, I paid, what, I think it was like 20 in tips, something like that. But I had like 80 something on me that night. Like 80 something, close to 100 on me that night. So I was like, fuck it. I overpaid the tip. And then I got her this little present. Because, like, it was a present because it was her name. So I got her a present that matches her name. So you already, you know, and like it was really cool. It was a really cool present. Like, I probably would have bought it for myself, low key. So we get in the car and we going down and we heading to the place where they dance at. So now, when we at the dance, she ain't really like paying attention to me. You know, she's going off doing her own thing, and me, I'm doing my own thing because I'm not really a dancer unless I'm by myself. If you catch me by myself, shit, I be getting sturdy. So now, you know, she over there doing her thing, I'm doing my thing, you know, things like that. I'm going around talking to my friends and stuff that's there, talking to Jonna, you know, like I'm just having fun. Then out of nowhere, she comes over. She's like, excuse me. She comes over, and then she was like, dance with me. So now me and Elle, you know, we doing a dance or whatever, and then out of nowhere, she gives me a kiss. Full tongue and everything. It was like a makeout session. She started making out with me. I was like, oh, this how your tongue feel? I love it. You know what I mean? So now we having a full makeout session. Then we stop making out. Then I go over, I see Jonna over there with her date, and they making out. And then out of nowhere, Elle grabs me again. She starts making out with me again. So we made out twice in that one night. So then I go over to Jonna, and I have to show y'all. Look, I go over to Jonna, right? And then I look at Jonna because Jonna, I hadn't seen Jonna with Riz with. So I tell Jonna the story of what happened. And John was like, you know, this ain't that happened to me, anything like that. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, Riz. I'm like, we just Riz. So now we got a dance. So I put my hands on John's shoulder, Johnny put her hands on my shoulder, and we jump up and down saying Riz, 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 Riz. So that was our little dance for the night. But since me and her, we raised up the females that we brought. So yeah, this is the end of part 2. Part 3 will be Sunday. That will be the finale. I hope y'all love this series. Hope y'all rocking with it. Like and subscribe, baby. Let's go.